This is the 865, a mini assessment for World War II for South Carolina 8th grade history. Why were many South Carolinians unable to enlist in the military during World War II? Anti-war sentiment was strong across the state, widespread illiteracy and poor health conditions. Many did not serve because of religious reasons, or segregation prevented African Americans from joining. What are some ways that the United States began to prepare for the war before actually entering World War II? Choose 3 that apply. Extra money was printed to buy guns and tanks. The government began to draft young men into the armed services. The Charleston Navy Yards increased construction of destroyers. Military bases were reopened and expanded. What impact did the Doolittle Raiders have on American society? It allowed African American soldiers to be integrated with white soldiers. It lifted American morale early in World War II. It allowed for pilots to engage in ground attacks against the Japanese. It caused a decline in morale after the bombing of Pearl Harbor. What was one way that ordinary Americans helped the war effort? By doing war exercises to be ready to fight off invasion. Gathering in groups to drive cars and parades to show their support. Having large bake sales with the monies going to charity. Buying war bonds to supply money to the government. Why did Japan decide to attack Pearl Harbor? They wanted to conquer the Hawaiian Islands. They needed Hawaii's oil. They were mad about an oil embargo placed upon them by the United States. They wanted to force the United States into World War II. Why did the United States create internment camps for the Japanese during World War II? They wanted to keep the Japanese safe. They wanted to round up illegal immigrants and hold them while they waited for deportation. Racist attitudes and fear towards the Japanese due to Pearl Harbor. To train them in battle for World War II. What ended the war in the Pacific Theater? VE Day. Bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. VJ Day. D-Day. What was the name of the naval invasion that led to France's freedom from the Nazis? VE Day. VJ Day. Bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. D-Day. What was the name given to the genocide of the Jewish people by the Nazis during World War II? The Holocaust, Kristallnacht, Zionism, Balfour Declaration. Besides Israel, where did many Jewish refugees immigrate after World War II? The Soviet Union, Midwest cities like Chicago, port cities like Charleston and New York, or Greenland.